ready for University of Georgia basketball.
I waited here for you for so very long. I waited here for you so long. I waited here for you.
The Dogs play here.
It is going to happen here in Georgia.
He's good. He muscled it in through two tech defenders.
I'm committed to helping make that happen.
Good old Edge. Blue Kane strokes it from the right corner. Go Dogs. Shoot down one-handed strike. Oh, yeah. Got the bounce off the rim and the glass and it falls through. Georgia will win it. How about them Dogs? Dogs are dancing on the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network. Welcome to live play-by-play coverage of Dogs basketball. Georgia basketball is brought to you by Piedmont Healthcare, the official healthcare provider of the Georgia Bulldogs. Now to KeyBank Center in Buffalo, New York. Alongside Chuck Dowdle, here's the voice of the Bulldogs, Scott Howard.
All right, tip-off is within sight. How about that? 10:10 is our scheduled tip time now, so still, about 15, 16 minutes away. Let's give you the starting lineups. Fueled by Citgo Tri-Clean Gasoline. When you start with Citgo, you're good to go. For the Georgia Bulldogs, record of 22-10. Adam is bookmarking that comment. Robbie Avila at 6'10" in the center circle for the Billikens. Santos Surreal in the center circle for Georgia at 6'11". Here comes Owen Short with the basketball in hand. On the March Madness logo, there's the toss and the tap controlled by Georgia. We're underway here in the NCAA tournament. And already a clock problem. Our vantage point will work from right to left here in the first half. Bounce pass to Santos, stolen by St. Louis. They run it left to right with a lay-in to start the ball game.
And down the floor they flew.
Dion Brown with the running layup with one hand. Little scoop shot to put St. Louis on the board first, 2-0. Green slams on the brakes at the three-point line to the right end of the floor. Go for a three, right corner by Brown, no good. They get an offensive rebound, feed Brown on the slash move all the way to the basket, and the layup is good by Dion Brown.
And the smallest guy on the floor, I think he's smaller than Smurf, got that rebound for them.
He goes above the three-point line, and Smurf gets ready to inbound the basketball again. Fouls on Green for St. Louis. Kane's got it right corner, fakes the three, puts it on the floor and drives, curls to the basket, layup, rolls in there good. First points of the game, Blue Kane.
Nice move by Blue.
Yeah, he faked the three out of the corner like we've seen so many times and then curled down the lane and got the layup. Trey Green, the 6-foot guard, backs up, lobs to Avila on the block, lay in good.
Well, we had Santo way out there on the little guy out beyond the arc and nobody on the big guy underneath. I think they should give you an additional point when you make all three free throws without touching metal.
Yeah, get a bonus point. I like that. St. Louis, Brown with the basketball. Layup from the right side is good. Dion Brown with 8 already. And it's 10-5 Billikens. Dogs attack with Ross. He pump fakes Avila, who had a hand up in the air, and Ross goes up over the top of him and lays it in off the glass. Dogs with the steal for the Dogs. Kane and Wilkinson, Ross, absent and Stagg. That's our 5. St. Louis possession. They lead by 1, 10-9. Avila, oh goodness, a blow-by McCautry, and Avila found him slashing down the lane in an easy right side layup for the Billikens. Along the three at the head of the key, gives it to Sharma. He loves the three, as they all do. Thames across the foul line, feeds in the right corner for a three. They airballed it from right there. That was Brady Dunlap. They got an offensive rebound though. Shot clock down to 6. Avila with a wraparound to Thames, and he laid it up. 14-9 St. Louis. And Dunlap, I don't know if their feet got tangled or what, but Dunlap hit the deck and lost the ball. Georgia needs a basket here. Wilkinson for three. There it is. Scana Energy three from the right wing for Jeremiah. He just doubled his point output to 6 with that shot. And it's 14-12. At the basket, the ball is loose on the floor. Their bodies on the ground. Somto went for a tie-up, but St. Louis gets it out of the pack. Billikens basketball. Thames right around the defense and a layup, a sweeping layup on the right side. Good.
Did I mention we need to stop their layups?
That's 8 out of 9 layups now for the Billikens. The rim, long rebound, head of the key. Taken by Quentin Jones, a 6'5 junior transfer from Northern Illinois. St. Louis for a three, left corner. That's good. That's the first of the game. Kellen Thames with the three. And the lead grows to 7, 19-12. Sean Sharma collected the basketball. They're up 7. Georgia just 1 for its last 8. Driving layup, no good. Otieno rebound, putback is good by the big man. 6'9 and 230. Paul Otieno with his first points. It's 21-12. 10 on threes now in the game. St. Louis got in close. I got screened out, but I think it was Brown who laid it up.
It was a great pass.
Dion Brown. 25-14, double-digit lead for the first time for the Billikens. Dogs struggling to score. There's Smurf to the rack, and he throws it up from the right baseline and banks it home. A much-needed basket by Smurf Millender, his first points of the game. 25-16, St. Louis. Behind the back, bounce pass Avila, intercepted by Smurf. Up ahead to Jake Wilkins for a running two-handed flush. St. Louis quick inbounds. Jones all the way to the rack. Missed the layup. Offensive rebound. Brown underhands to Sharma down the lane, and he lays it up again. Dogs went to sleep on defense.
I told you, we have got to get transition defense has not been good, and we have got to get back fast. They came up with it. Now they've got an inbounds pass in 24 seconds.
Avila to throw it in for St. Louis. Just bobs it into the backcourt to Trey Green. Back over the timeline, dribbles on the logo. Jab step back three with Ross about 3 feet away from him, and he drains an NBA range plus three-pointer. Trey Green makes it a 30-18 lead, largest lead of the half for St. Louis. Wilkinson for three to try to answer for the Dogs. He misses off the rim. Rebound to St. Louis. 22nd rebound of the game for the Billikens. Georgia with only 8. They lob it on the block to McCautry. The lay-in is good and a foul. 3-point play coming for the Billikens. Fouls on Jeremiah Wilkinson, his first. And an and one for Amari McCautry coming. 6 out of the mud on offense. Wilkinson, lob to Somto. He goes to the floor, tries to put it up from there. He left it short. He couldn't alley-oop it and dunk it. He came down on the floor and tried to shoot it from 2 feet away and missed it. St. Louis with the basketball. Oh, Avila just spins by catchings, leaves him just standing flat-footed and lays it up good. Deceptive athletic talent from Robbie Avila. It's 35-18. Dogs basketball. Step back three, catchings. Left wing won't go. Somto couldn't collect. Green slows the dribble down, and now they work in the half court. Avila with the ball on the left side, guarded by Wilkins. On the block, wraparound, slashing in from the right baseline is McCautry. The pass was perfect, and McCautry lays it up again. We don't have an answer.
No,
we've got a timeout.
And right now we're very undisciplined. We're undisciplined offensively, undisciplined defensively, and obviously we got to make some corrections, and they need to come pretty quickly here.
Dribbles to his right. Comes on the left wing to Wilkinson. He gets a screen from Abson, drives down the lane, and layup good with the left hand. He spun it off the window.
That was a great move by Jeremiah. Somebody needs to take control. Maybe he's going to do that.
They saved it twice. Once by McCautry and once by Avila. Billikens basketball. Screen and roll. Avila collects a bounce pass and lays it up underhanded. Good. Avila with 8, 39-20, St. Louis. Back with Wilkinson. Jeremiah trying to put the team on his back. no good. Rebound, Abson. Spinning jump hook from the right side. Good by Justin Abson.
Well, we needed that.
To the key, guarded by Abson. Over to Quentin Jones on the left wing. He's trying to weave his way into the paint area. Picks it up at the elbow. Here comes a three. Dunlap, good. He ripped it right of the circle. Brady Dunlap with his first points.
Nobody on him.
42-24, St. Louis. Wilkinson around the screen. Head of the key three. Good. Bottom. Scana Energy three by Jeremiah. He's got both of ours in the half. He's got 13 points as well. 42-27, St. Louis. Advance. The Gales are done. Ross and Georgia trying to avoid that from happening here in Buffalo. Dunlap to Thames down the lane. The floater with the right hand is good from 8 feet. Thames has 9 off the bench, 44-29. St. Louis in front, 1:38 to go in the half. 29, St. Louis in front, 1:38 to go in the half. Step back three, Wilkinson ripped it good. Right wing three, right over McCautry. Jeremiah with 16. He's all of our offense. He's got half of our points. It's 44-32. Covers and gets it to McCautry. He dribbles at the three. Jump pass in the corner to Otieno. He hands it off to Dunlap. Back to Otieno on the give and go. Steps into the paint, lays it up, and draws contact and a foul. Basket is good. He goes to the line for a three-point opportunity. Boy, that was executed nicely by St. Louis. Out of that far corner. Not a lot of space to work with, Chuck. And Otieno had the ball, set a screen, gave it to Dunlap. He rolled. 47-32, St. Louis ball, 30 seconds to go. Dunlap runs through the lane. Sweeping layup from the left side of the rim is good with the kiss off the backboard. Brady Dunlap at 6'7". Long strides all the way to the basket, got by Blue Kane and laid it up. 16 seconds to go. Dogs with the basketball, and Ross is just inside the half-court line. Dribbling, killing some clock here to end the half. 49-32. Wilkinson off a curl for a three. Right side, short. Side iron, no good. Rebound, St. Louis. Jones at the end of the half throws it, hits the top of the backboard and the shot clock, and that's the end of the first 20 minutes here in the NCAA tournament for these two teams.
Well, this is going to be about adjustments at halftime, and we've got a lot of them to make. But I know Mike White and his staff, they're very good at this. And, we saw it against Ole Miss. Made a strong run at Ole Miss, got it back to 2. And I fully expect the Dogs to come back out here in the second half and make this a ball game.
Georgia shot right at 26% in the first half. Certainly numbers that are unlike the Georgia team we saw all season. 49-32. It's a 17-point lead for the Billikens of St. Louis as they're gunning for their 29th win of the season. The Dogs will have to come back if they're to get their first NCAA tournament win since 2002. We're at halftime here in Buffalo. Coming up next, it's Matt Schweikert in the halftime report from the Piedmont Healthcare Network studios. Piedmont Healthcare is the official healthcare provider of UGA Athletics. 20 minutes on the clock for halftime here at KeyBank Arena in Buffalo, New York. And your halftime score, St. Louis 49, Georgia 32 on the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network. St. Louis in blue, royal blue. They work down to the left end of the floor from our vantage point here. Back at the foul line on the right end of the floor. Deion Brown with a baseline drive and a layup good right in front of the bucket. Brown now with 12 points for St. Louis. He's their leading scorer. He's 0 for 7 in this ball game. 51-32. Billikens basketball. Avila with a left-hand dribble. Threads the needle on a bounce pass. Driving layup left baseline. Brown good again. 14 for Brown. 53-32. Fourth straight for the Billikens to start the second half. Catchings with the ball on the logo. They steal it from him. Brown. And he'll dunk it on the left end of the floor. Sixth straight to start the half, and they're all belonging to Deion Brown. He's got 16. The 6'3" senior guard transfer from UMBC and then Boston College. To Jones, over the logo, top of the key, now pushes off Kane, drives, floater, won't go, offensive rebound, put back good. Amari McCautry, that's 8 straight to start the half. It's 57-32. Traffic throws it up short. There was a lot of contact there, again, no whistle and the shot is no good. St. Louis with the rebound. Jones finds an opening down the lane, moves to his right to get away from Sompto, and he arches it up and in off the glass. Quentin Jones with his first basket of the game. That was a smart play by him not to go straight at Sompto. He moved a little bit to the right and made a little space and got the bucket. It's 59-32. Georgia has not scored here in the second half. It's a 10-0 run, and we turn it over. Green down the lane on the left end, and a layup between two defenders is good.
It was really a lazy pass. Sompto was just lollygagged it across the lane, and they just picked it off easily.
12 straight for St. Louis to start the second half. Smurf misses a little short popper. Him over to Jones on the baseline. Smurf's matched up there. They slash a man into the paint. That's McCottry. Takes a bullet pass and lays it up from the left side. That's 14 straight points. Ross for three on the other end. No good. Off the iron. Rebound. Rip down. Left to right. They run an alley-oop lob to Wilkins. Too high on the lob. Off the backboard. Rebound St. Louis. They get it to McCottry on the left end, and he lays it up underhanded. 16-0 run in the first 4 minutes and 25 seconds of the second half. 65-32. St. Louis putting this one away. They want a match with Michigan Saturday, and they're going to get it. McCottry intercepts Wilkinson's pass. That's no good. The lay-in around the rim and off, and the follow is good by Quentin Jones, who dunks it and rips the rim. And the fans here in the KeyBank Center on their feet for St. Louis. This is unbelievable. 18-0 run for the Billikens. And mercifully a timeout. (67-32). Dogs have not scored in the second half. 18 straight points for the Billikens. And we got a tie. 15:07 to go in the season for the Dogs. We'll be back after this on the Bulldogs Sports Network. Georgia has the ball. Smurf Millender will inbound it next to our bench. Across the way. Throws it into Bailey, who gives it back to Smurf. Dribbles on the logo. Front edge of the center circle. Into the corner, Bailey. Here comes a three along the baseline. It's good. Scana Energy three for Justin Bailey. There's our first basket of the half. Bailey with his first field goal of the game. He's got 4 points tonight. 67-35.
Billikens beat it up the floor, but now having trouble. Georgia steals.
Yeah, Green dribbled into a double team, and Bailey stole it from him. Smurf for three, left hand. That's good. He rips another one. Scana Energy three by Smurf. Back-to-back three-point baskets by the Dogs. 67-38. Smurf with his first three-pointer of the game. Missed the lay-in off the rim. Justin rebounds for the Dogs. Gives it to Smurf. Millender hesitates. Fakes and gives it to Blue Kane. Reverse lay-in on the drive. Good by Blue. The Dogs have made three straight buckets. 67-40 St. Louis. 13:49 on the clock as it moves here in Buffalo.
I don't think so. I mean, I think he
somewhere, but not NBA.
Yeah, not in the NBA. I don't think so.
Second free throw is no good off the back of the rim. Dogs rebound. 68-40, St. Louis in front. The Billikens have handed the Dogs their largest deficit of the game.
Smart.
Yeah, off one leg, he floats it in and kisses it off the square. Short little running bank shot for Smurf Millender. 68-42. St. Louis with the basketball and 13:05 to play. Thames dribbles in front of their bench. They rotate left corner now. Jones for three, good. Stagg a little late getting over on him, and Quentin Jones hits the three, his first of the game. 71-42. Dogs with a quick answer. Was that a three in the corner?
That was a three in the corner.
By Bailey. 71-44. Bailey's got a couple of threes here in the half. Dunlap open. He hits a three, right corner for St. Louis. Both teams did not do well on the three ball in the first half, but they can't be stopped here in the second. Smurf with a deep NBA range, straight on three for the Dogs. He's got 8 back-to-back threes for Smurf. Dunlap to throw it in. Baseball pass into the backcourt. Fielded up around his shoulders by Jones. Quentin Jones, 6'5", dribbles on the logo. around a screen from Otieno all the way to the rack and just shows off with a one-handed jam. He brought the hammer that time. Then he looked at his bench, and the bench exploded. 78-47. Dogs have the ball. Stags in trouble. Nowhere to go with it. Kick it out to Jeremiah Wilkinson for a three, and he hits it in the right corner. Wilkinson, his first points of the second half. He's got 19 in the game. 78-50. Atlantic 10 getting the best of the SEC tonight. They lead the Dogs by 30. Ross beyond the three on the right wing. Crossover and attacks. Spins it off the glass as he falls to the floor. It's good. Jordan Ross still playing hard. 80-52.
That's the way he's going. That's the way he goes every time.
Foul was on Catchings, his second. And Dunlap to throw it in. Zips it opposite corner. Here comes a three. It's good. Ishan Sharma threw it in from the left baseline into the right corner, and they rip a three. 83-52. Dogs ball in the front court. Misses the three straight on. Rebound St. Louis. Dion Brown to Sharma in the left corner this time. He missed the three. They went over the top of Smurf to get the rebound, handed that to Avila, and he drains a deep one on the right slot. St. Louis rocking and rolling. 86-52. And we have faced our largest deficits of the season. Dunlap with a basketball and then throws it away. It's bouncing loose in backcourt. Dogs chase it down. Wilkinson feeds it to James, who softly dunks it down through the cylinder.
A good hustle by Jeremiah.
Avila was back there, but Georgia had two players. Wilkinson did hustle and save the ball from going out of bounds on the baseline. Dogs get 2 points out of it. Dunlap rips a three in the right corner. He was open for a quality look from the right corner in front of the Billikens bench. For St. Louis, they give it to McCautry, and he'll just walk it over the timeline. Met at half court by Smurf. Now speeds up through the lane, drops it to Brown. Oh, they're killing us along those baseline drives. Another layup, Dion Brown. And the Dogs playing defense with their palms turned upward. As if, was I supposed to have that guy or not? Ross misses a spinner on the block. Looking down inside in the interior, skips it to Brown, threw it away. Bailey comes up with a steal. Skips it up ahead to Wilkinson, who fires a three, buries it good. Jeremiah with his third three of the half.
I'll tell you what, if it hadn't been for Jeremiah, I don't know where we'd be tonight. He's the only guy that's really had any consistent shot all night long.
And 0 for 5 on his three-point shots. 91-57, St. Louis. Brown along the baseline, feeds it inside to Sharma, who lays it up and in from the left side of the rim. 93-57. Dog dribbles right on the logo, now away from the logo. Through the lane, fakes the pass to Avila, gets it into the corner. They give it to Sharma, who drives down the lane and all the way to the rim, puts it up from short range, and it floats in there good.
When they get the outside stuff going, it makes it so much easier for them to penetrate because there's nobody in our, in the paint to stop them for us.
He showed it right there, but we play on. It's just a common foul. Avila throws it into Thames right under the basket on the out-of-bounds play and an easy layup. Dogs push it in. Wilkinson takes it coast to coast and all the way down the lane for a layup for Georgia. 97-59. Dogs down by a bunch. St. Louis basketball, 4:22 to go in the game. Thames into the lane, kick out Sharma head of the key, and he gets a little toilet swisher on the rim and went around and around and came through good. Hit the three-pointer at the head of the key.
And that's triple digits.
Oh, Dogs with a nice little alley-oop lob from Smurf to Dylan James, who finishes with a two-handed dunk. Tries a one-hander that's no good. Rebound by the Bulldogs. Wilkinson has it. He'll shoot a three straight on. That's good. He buried it. NBA range, straight ahead three for Jeremiah Wilkinson. And he's got 27 points tonight. Out for the guys in blue. The Dogs rebound it with blue. Kane feeds it to his right to Smurf into the front court. A drive after he curls under the basket and lays it up for two. They'll count the bucket, and he got fouled by Sharma. 100-68. Smurf with an alley-oop to Dylan James, and Jax Kerr at 6'11", a freshman from Muskogee, Oklahoma, got in the air to block the shot, and he fouled Dillon in the act. So James will go to the line. Clock stops with 2:38 remaining. Dillon, free throw, up and in, good. His first point of the game. Second foul shot for Dillon James. That one rattles out, no good. And St. Louis has the rebound. They have the basketball. 2.5 minutes to go in the game. They turn it over. Stolen by Jake Wilkins. To his left. Wilkinson for a three. Jeremiah wouldn't roll in. Bounced off the rim and then rattled around and then kicked out.
That was the perfect story of how our evening has gone. That ball was on the front of the rim, but then down in there and then kicked back out.
And then there was a loose ball foul by St. Louis in the battle for the rebound. That's going to send Jake Wilkins to the free throw line for the Bulldogs. Fouls on Cam Hudson, a 6'5" freshman. So St. Louis kind of emptying their bench here with 2:24 to go. Free throw number one by Wilkins is good. Jake with 3 points in the game. 6'9" freshman from Lilburn, Georgia, hits them both. 100-71. St. Louis tied for the most points against Georgia this season. Dogs beat Auburn 104-100 in overtime, and that's been the highest total allowed by the Dogs this year to this point. 2:10 to go in the game here in the NCAA tournament in Buffalo, New York. Trey Green to Dunlap for a three. Didn't get enough leg into it and left it short. Rebound Dillon James. Up ahead to Wilkins. Back to Smurf. Top of the key. Over to Wilkinson for a three. Good. He ripped it. Jeremiah's got 30 tonight. Another three-pointer for Jeremiah Wilkinson.
And Wisely,
seventh of the game. That's a personal best.
Yeah, Wisely. Smurf had an open shot, but he realized Jeremiah had one too, and he's been the guy with a hot hand.
Cam Hudson's three is no good. Georgia open on the other end. Smurf misses a three from the right slot. Hit the front of the rim. Rebound taken by Jax Kerr, the 6'11" freshman for St. Louis. 1:22 to go. It's 100-74.
St. Louis calls timeout.
And they want to get some more substitutes in the game. Jaden Schertz, son of the head coach, will check in. 5'11" junior guard. He was at Indiana State with his dad and then made the move over to St. Louis, of course. And who else came into the game? Isaac Holmes, a 6'4" junior, also an Indiana State transfer from Apex, North Carolina. He will throw it in to Jax Kerr. Kerr with the ball, feeds Green. Green the guard. Oh, found an opening in a lane, right down the lane on an angle. And an easy layup for Trey Green. And that's 102 points. That's the most allowed by the Dogs this season. Another three by Jeremiah Wilkinson won't go. Wilkins with an impressive one-handed rebound. Just stole it, turns around and fires a three on the right wing. It's off the rim, almost climbed over the top of the backboard. Comes down to St. Louis as they rebound it. And less than a minute to go. 102-74 Billikens. They've got the basketball. Green, bullet bounce pass down on the baseline to Isaac Holmes. Tries a three. It's blocked on the wing by Wilkins and then a foul.
Blocked in the air. That was beautiful. Nice defense by Jake Wilkins.
I think that block shot deflected off the face of Isaac Holmes on the block by Jake Wilkins.
And then they fouled him, so Jake's going to the line here for a couple.
Holmes might need somebody else's uniform. It looks like he's might need a different size. Somebody got mixed up in the locker room, I think.
What's that? Who's?
Yeah, exactly. Wilkins with some free throws for the Bulldogs. It's 102-75. St. Louis basketball, 26 seconds to go. 4 seconds difference on the shot clock and the game clock as the Dogs season winds to an end Unfortunately, not a good showing by Georgia tonight here in the NCAA tournament. 3-ball by Hudson is off the rim and swatted out of bounds into the left corner, deep in the left corner on the near side. Georgia will have one final possession here, I would imagine. 12.4 seconds to go. Stagg gives it into Smurf. Into the front court. Dogs are looking to shoot again. Here comes a deep one from Smurf off the rim, and a follow and a dunk by Stagg. There's his first field goal of the game, and that's going to do it for the NCAA tournament and the 2026 season for Georgia. Game is over. St. Louis advances with a 102-77 victory.
Well, you look back, it's not tough to tell when you look down the scoring column and you see Sompto with no points, Canna with no points. Blue only had 6, and then Kareem Stagg, he finished with, 5, I guess it was, with the dunk there. So is that correct? 5 points?
Yes.
We just didn't get the points we needed from the people we needed to get them from tonight. And defensively, we got toasted several times by their speed getting down the floor offensively. And then they were able to take advantage on shots in the paint, and it just was more than we could handle.
Well, I think that's probably the reason you mentioned defense, why Sompto only played 12 minutes tonight.
That was it. That's all, 12 minutes.
That's it. And when did he come out of the game in the second half? And he never returned. It was like when they were on that 18-0 run to start the second half.
Right at the start of the second half, yeah.
So he didn't come back in after that. Only played 12 minutes tonight. And St. Louis runs away with it. They go wire to wire and defeat the Dogs, handing Georgia it's the worst loss of the season, 102-77, the final score. So St. Louis will advance. They're in the tournament for the first time since 2019, and it was an impressive showing for their first tournament appearance in 7 years, and they get to play the number 1 seed Michigan on Saturday, and that game is just after 12 o'clock, I think. What was it, a 12:10 start?
Yeah.
12:05, 12:10, something like that here in Buffalo, and that'll be on Saturday. And Michigan, of course, the season for Georgia comes to an end tonight.
Yeah, Michigan, the number 1 seed. We saw them play. They're going to be tough. They'll be hard for St. Louis to handle, but listen, I wouldn't put anything past the way this team, again, I was telling Adam a few minutes ago, Michigan better have its track shoes on.
Yeah.
Because these guys are going to run you up and down the floor.
We'll see if they used all their ammunition tonight. I don't know if they've got much left for Saturday. Hopefully they do on their behalf as they take on Michigan. You hope for a good game there in the next round of the tournament. Boy, they had an impressive showing tonight, though, as they defeat Georgia 102-77. Let's see, where are we going? The Regents Locker Room Report. That's coming up next. We'll get some comments from Coach Mike White along the way. We may have to wait a few minutes before we get those, I think, because we don't have access to the coach in these type of events. We have to wait until he's made available to everybody, and that may take a few minutes. So we'll come back to Buffalo here at KeyBank Arena as we'll jump into our post-game coverage. Regents Locker Room Report. Put an extra Go Dogs in your wallet with the Georgia Bulldogs Regions Visa debit card or prepaid Regions Now card. Order at regions.com/Go Dogs. Regions is the official bank of the SEC. Your final for Buffalo tonight in the NCAA tournament. Billikens 102, Georgia Bulldogs 77 as the Dog season comes to an end with a record of 22-11 this year. St. Louis now a record-setting 29-5, most wins ever in a season by St. Louis. They win it tonight in advance, and we'll continue with our postgame coverage right after this on the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network. The closing comments following Georgia's loss to St. Louis, 102-77. I would say, Chuck, a dejected Mike White there from what he was saying.
Yeah, about as down as I've heard Mike ever. He's a pretty upbeat guy and tries to keep things on a positive note. And, I think he accurately summarized this, but the first thing he said he was going to do was look in the mirror and see if the preparation wasn't done correctly. But he also pointed out, some things that were obvious here, that at times effort was not there. And that's hard to explain because this is a team that has shown a lot of heart and a lot of effort throughout the season. But tonight, for whatever reason, it didn't happen. And it happened at a most inopportune time here where you're playing one and done in the postseason.
Yeah, it wasn't certainly Georgia's night as the season comes to a close here. The Dogs finished the year with 22 wins and 11 losses in the final record. 102-77, the final score. St. Louis advances. They'll play Michigan on Saturday here in Buffalo, and Georgia's season has come to a close tonight.
But you know what? The hardest thing about this, now the three of us don't get to be together for a while. So that's going to be tough.
Adam is silently cheering. Yes, to our right. Hey, before we get out of here, let's pause 10 seconds. Station identification here on the Bulldog Sports Network. All right, that's going to wrap it up for us here in Buffalo. Matt Schweikert is in the Piedmont Healthcare Network studios, and he'll give us a rundown of day one of the NCAA tournament. There's lots more of that, so basketball fans still rejoicing. There's plenty more basketball over the next couple of weeks on the road to the Final Four, as they like to say. That road has come to an end for the Georgia Bulldogs, unfortunately, tonight here in Buffalo. St. Louis with a 102-77 victory. Piedmont Healthcare, will remind you one more time, offers you exceptional, hassle-free care closer to home. Piedmont, the official healthcare provider of UGA Athletics. Chuck and Adam, it has been a joyous season. I enjoyed thoroughly, and I'll anxiously await, like Mike,
hey.
I'm ready to get going with the next season in November.
We had a lot more great times than down times.
That's all you got?
Well, no. Well, listen, the great times were great. The last downtime is always a tough one. But, like I said, November will be here soon.
All right. So for Chuck Dowdle and for Adam Gillespie, our producer and engineer, Scott Howard saying so long from Buffalo. Matt Schweikert is standing by to close us out here this season one final time as your final score here from the NCAA tournament. St. Louis 102, Georgia 77 on the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
The unthinkable, the unbelievable. They beat Arkansas and go wire to wire to win the SEC tournament.